Thank you so much for being here today. I'm so pleased that we have so many people here. We have our department members and other people from the city, community members, and some dignitaries with us today. So thank you for taking time out of your day. I'm pleased to share with you some exciting changes at the Richland Police Department. At RPD, we have maintained the same patch and badge for decades with some small variations along the way. Department members were ready for a more personalized patch and badge accurately reflecting our culture and proud history. We wanted to create a symbol that represented the shared values of our department and the community that we serve. The badge and patch are not just symbols, but representations of our commitment to working together to make our community a safer place. A committee of our officers and professional staff was formed to accomplish that task of creating a new patch and badge design that would carry us into the future. Together, they brainstormed, reviewed designs, and finally made a selection. I'd like to recognize the members of the committee who are joining us today. So I'm going to call them out by name and have them come up here. We have Sergeant Swanson, Detective Edwards, Detective Grant, Detective Peterson, Detective Jabri, Detective Doss, Detective Richmond, and Michelle Pfeiffer. And then Sean, can you go ahead and say a few words? Sure. Sean headed up our committee for the badge and patch, and so he's going to say a few words about how it was created.
Thank you, Chief. Good morning. When the committee took this project on, we wanted to pay homage to our history by maintaining the key elements of the previous designs, which were the sun, atoms, and the Columbia River. The new patch incorporates all these elements in a way that is current, yet will withstand the test of time. One exciting new design component is the Day's Pay B-17. The Day's Pay symbolizes the spirit and pride of our community, which is still alive and well today. The prominent display of this plane on our badge and patch serves as a reminder that our community members are an integral part of the RPD team. Each member of the design committee is honored to share with you today Richland's new patch and badge design. Thank you.
Let's give the committee a hand. I would now like to introduce John Amundson, our city manager.
Thank you, Chief. I'm proud to be here. And when Chief Clary told me that they wanted to update their police badge and patch, it felt like the right time in the department's history to do such a thing. Our law enforcement personnel have faced challenges in recent years that have impacted their ability to perform their jobs. Changes in legislation and decreased support for their services nationwide have left a significant impact. I am proud of the team we have at Richland Police Department. Our community can rest assured that they live our core values of teamwork, integrity, and excellence. As Chief stated, updating the patch and badge is a significant effort. The patches and badges appear on their uniforms and other apparel, our fleet, throughout our buildings, and across digital platforms. You see some of those updates have already been completed today with a few of our police vehicles on display just outside of our building. So if you haven't, please take a chance to go outside and look at the new updated vehicles with the new patch and badge. While we look forward towards the future of our department, we also wanted to pay homage to our past. And so here to speak to a legendary piece of Richland's past is Don Sorensen from Hanford History Project. Don, please come up and join us.
Everyone remembers June 6th, the day at D-Day, when that invasion happened. It was an anticipated event. When it happened, of course, it hit the news and it hit the Sage Sentinel that American forces had finally made inroads into Fortress Europe. Max Blanchard, along with a few of his other co-workers, were wondering, what can we do to support the men and women who are fighting for us? The idea came about, we need to buy a bomber. But what bomber? What should we get? So the request was made out to the War Department, what kind of bomber should we purchase? The answer came back fairly quickly, a B-17. So the idea gained very fast traction. Colonel Matthias loved the idea, continued to move forward with it. Posters were put up around the construction camp as well as the city of Richland. Matter of fact, just no more than a few blocks from here, there were posters put up asking people to donate a day's pay towards the aircraft. The contest was held to come up with the name of the plane. There were about 6 to 8 entries, I believe, that said day's pay, and so that was the decision. July 23rd, 1944, the day's pay landed at the Hanford Airport, just a little west of the Hanford construction camp, where Katie Bell Harris christened the number 4 boss of the boss of the number 4 engine. She had lost a son over Europe in a bombing mission, so she was a logical choice to do that task. Of course, the Army Air Corps took possession of it and flew to Walla Walla. From there, it went elsewhere. During that same time period, the day's pay crew was going to take over. We're flying B-24s out of Debich Airfield in southeastern England. In September, actually early part of middle of August, they transitioned from 24s to 17s. The day's pay crew took over flying day's pay, and they loved the aircraft. They were completely enamored of the idea that a group of people they had no idea that were supporting them so valiantly by giving up a hard-earned work to purchase a plane. So they always felt this was not their plane. It wasn't the government's. It belonged to the people of Hanford. Also the people of the Tri-Cities. County Richland, specifically, because they were definitely part of it. And so they flew that aircraft with pride. The day's pay actually flew over 60 missions. The day's pay crew flew 36. They loved the airplane. They felt connected to it. The Hanford workers were encouraged to write letters to the day's pay crew, and they did. And I've got one letter here I'm going to read a little excerpt from it, dated December 1st, 1944. It says, "We are proud of you, and I suppose you're blue. You look all," and I can't make this out. "You all will always be tops. Now take care of day's pay. We worked hard to get it on the way to you. So don't let her down. And if you can, be sure we won't let you down." They certainly didn't. Years later, discussing things with Thelma Weiniger, the pilot of Day's Pay, she said she was so thankful that Day's Pay was a lucky plane because it brought her husband back to her. It also brought the other crew members home who went on to have successful families, successful lives, and they were all proud that they flew Day's Pay. They absolutely loved the airplane. The families even today are grateful for the contributions that these Hanford workers made 78 years ago towards the war effort. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Don. I'd like to extend our appreciation to Don and Robert Franklin with WSU Hanford History Project for bringing the historical artifacts and photos for display. Please take a moment to check them out here when we're done. But before the formal reveal, I'd like to invite Mayor Pro Tem Teresa Richardson up. I'd like to present you with patches for council, and thank you for supporting us in this effort.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Mayor Pro Tem Richardson is going to say a few words.
I have just a couple words to say. When I was thinking about this ceremony, the words attributed to Plato came to mind. I almost said Pluto. That would have gotten your attention, wouldn't it? Plato came to mind. He said, that which is honored is cultivated. And so in honoring what went on in our community, and especially with Day's Pay, is absolutely a perfect symbol for us to carry on now nearly 80 years later. Those personal sacrifices that the community made for the greater good. And that just reminds me of what you do daily when you put on that badge. You never know that personal sacrifice that you're going to be making that will affect generations in the future. The other thing that I wanted to just mention briefly is that I am really grateful that this is not a council-led action, that this came out of organically the initiative and the commitment that you all have in serving Richland. So just thank you for this opportunity, and thank you for what you do for us. We really appreciate you. And
Mayor Pro Tem, if you could come back up here, please. So we're going to do the formal reveal now with the city manager and Mayor Pro Tem Richardson. And before we conclude, I just want to extend my heartfelt thanks to the city manager for his ongoing support during this project and to council. Thank you to the committee for the badge and patch design, for your diligent efforts in creating a unique design that will represent us well into the future. And I also want to thank our men and women that will wear the patch and badge every day, because really it's the men and women who are out serving in the community that make our representation of service to the community. So thank you.